Welcome to Occult Chronicles. Tonight, we step into uncharted territory, a realm this channel has never dared to walk before. A place tangled in secrecy, steeped in dread, and warped by centuries of distortion. This is the dark geometry of the left-hand path, not cloaked in vague symbols or superstition, but revealed through the very beings summoned by those who dare to walk it. These are not metaphors. They are living forces, foundations of a spiritual current that rejects submission, rejects dogma, rejects salvation from anywhere but within. Here, the self is the center. Power is not gifted. It is taken with will, with discipline, with deliberate transformation. The goal is not to merge with the divine, but to forge the divine within. Across history, this current has surfaced in many guises. In the Vamachara sects of ancient Indian Tantra, where sex, death, and the forbidden became weapons of liberation. In Western traditions like Luciferianism, Thelemic magic, and draconian orders, all chasing the same prize: mastery over self, over reality, over fear itself. No one to blame, no higher law to hide behind. Success or ruin rests entirely on you. And standing at the threshold of this path is the first and perhaps most misunderstood of all: Lucifer. Over centuries, his image has been bent, broken, and reshaped to fit theological agendas, turning a symbol into a monster. Yet when we trace his name to its true origin, we do not find a devil. We find a beacon. In the Hebrew of Isaiah, he is Halel ben Shachar, the Shining One, Son of the Morning, a title for Venus, the morning star. Not a devil, but light itself. In Rome, the word Lucifer was simply light-bringer. Only centuries later, fueled by apocrypha and fear, was he recast as the rebel angel, the adversary. Within the left-hand path, Lucifer is no tyrant to worship, no devil to dread. He is rebellion that illuminates, knowledge that liberates, self-deification forged by will. Practitioners invoke him not for mercy, but for awakening. Lucifer, bringer of light, illuminate my path. Not a prayer, a declaration. His rites, personal sigils, Gnostic meditation, and the inner vision of phosphorus ignite the hidden fire that burns away ignorance. Orders like the Order of Phosphorus and Dragon Rouge see him as the alchemist within, the inner sun that transforms. Even in the Temple of Set, where another god reigns, Lucifer is recognized as a parallel force of becoming. As Michael W. Ford says, Lucifer is not a god to worship, but an ideal to become. And yet, he is not alone. Another name rises in the darkness, one that has walked beside humanity for over 4,000 years. Lilith,
In the sands of Mesopotamia, she was Lilitu, the wandering night spirit blamed for illness, desire, and infant death. In Jewish tradition, she slipped from shadow into form, a seductress, a shapeshifter, a danger to newborns. But then came the tale in the alphabet of Ben Sira, where Lilith was not a demon at all, but Adam's first wife, created equal, refusing to submit and choosing exile over obedience. Religion cursed her, but the left-hand path crowned her. Here, she is not the killer of children, but the mother of autonomy. She is invoked through lunar rites, black mirror work, sexual magic, to awaken suppressed desire, hidden will, and fierce self-sovereignty. Her chant, Lilit Arma Lilith Rimok Sama, is not worship. It is summoning the strength to embrace the forbidden self. In the Qliphoth, she stands as a gatekeeper to hidden knowledge, the one who dares you to own every part of yourself. Lucifer lights the way, Lilith makes you want to walk it. And then there is Set, the red god of Egypt, lord of deserts, storms, and the wild lands beyond the Nile. In the early days, he was both protector and destroyer, until foreign invasion turned him into a villain, a god of chaos. But here, chaos is freedom. Set's sacred animal, a creature that exists nowhere in nature, stands as the perfect emblem of isolation and uniqueness. Set does not bow. He does not merge, he stands apart. His power is Keper, the act of becoming. Kepera, Keper, Keperu, I have become, I am becoming, I will become. In his rites, practitioners declare themselves creators of their own being, not asking, stating. Lucifer rebels, Lilith desires, Set separates, and then Samael steps forward. In Talmudic lore, he is the angel of death, God's poison, God's blindness, God's left hand. Some say it was Samael who rode the serpent in Eden, who seduced Eve, who planted rebellion into the bloodline of man. In Gnostic vision, he is the demiurge, the blind god who thinks himself supreme, the lion-headed serpent whose ignorance births the material world. In the Zohar, he stands with Lilith as a dark reflection of Adam and Eve, his death to her desire, their union producing a world outside divine law. To invoke Samael is to invite dissolution. In the Qliphoth, he rules Tagirion, the black sun, the burning away of false identity. His rites are venom and fire, breaking you down so only truth survives. And when all else falls, when the ashes settle, one last figure remains. Baphomet. To the ignorant, a goat-headed demon born from lies told under Templar torture. But to the initiate, an emblem of unity, male and female, light and dark, human and beast, fused into a single perfected force. Some say Baphomet hides the word Sophia in cipher. In Eliphas Levi's image, the torch between its horns burns with enlightenment. The hands point above and below. As above, so below. It is not worship. It is the self, fully integrated. And that is the current of the left-hand path. Lucifer's light, Lilith's freedom, Set's sovereignty, Samael's destruction, Baphomet's unity. Not gods to bow before, but mirrors to become. Levi's Baphomet wasn't meant to be worshipped. It was a symbolic representation of the unity of opposites. On its arms are inscribed the words solve et coagula, dissolve and recombine, a direct reference to the alchemical process of breaking down the self and rebuilding it consciously. This is central to the left-hand path. Practitioners seek not to conform or surrender, but to transform. The symbolism goes deeper. The caduceus on Baphomet's abdomen, a staff with two serpents, references kundalini energy and the balance of forces within the body. The torch on its head represents illumination of the mind, while the crescent moons beneath its legs signify duality, light and dark, growth and decay. Every detail confronts the practitioner with the truth. Transformation requires facing the full spectrum of one's being. Baphomet is invoked not through prayer, but through meditative focus, ritual visualization, and shadow work, facing your hidden self, integrating it, and emerging as something new. In modern times, Baphomet has been adopted by LaVeyan Satanism, though in a different context. The sigil of Baphomet, the goat's head within an inverted pentagram, became the official symbol of the Church of Satan. Here, Baphomet stands for personal freedom, anti-authoritarianism, and the rejection of religious dogma. While still within the left-hand path, this version is less concerned with inner alchemy and more with secular empowerment. Unlike other entities, such as Lucifer, Set, or Samael, Baphomet has no mythological origin, no ancient story. It is pure symbol, a mirror for the self, and that's precisely what makes it powerful. It doesn't ask for belief, it demands introspection. It's a blueprint for those willing to break the false self, integrate the shadow, and rebuild through conscious will. Hecate, by contrast, is not a goddess in the conventional sense. In the left-hand path, she operates as an archetype of transition, death, and hidden knowledge, not as an object of worship, but as everything that lies at the edges. The edge of consciousness, the threshold between life and death, the point where the familiar gives way to the unknown. It's precisely at those edges, crossroads, doorways, dream states, where Hecate is most present. Her origins reach back before classical Greece, likely to Thrace or Anatolia, where she was venerated as a powerful nocturnal figure. The Greeks adopted her, but she never conformed to Olympian norms. She didn't dwell on Mount Olympus. She lingered in shadows, in tombs, at the edge of cities. Zeus himself granted her dominion over earth, sea, and sky, but she remained distinct, a solitary liminal force untouched by the rules that bound other gods. For practitioners, her role is clear. She is the guide through darkness, the keeper of keys to doors most fear to open. In esoteric systems, she is a psychopomp, moving freely between the living and the dead, but more importantly, guiding initiates through their own inner underworld. She offers access, never force. It is always the seeker's choice to cross the threshold. Her imagery is rich, 3 faces, maiden, mother, crone, signifying transformation, the cycles of creation, destruction, and renewal. Her torches illuminate hidden corners of the mind. Her key unlocks shadow work. Her dagger severs ties to old forms, and her cord speaks of the tether between spirit and matter, a tether that must be cut and rewoven for true change. Rituals to Hecate are performed at night, ideally during the dark moon, at physical or symbolic crossroads. Offerings of food, milk, or honey are left, not to summon, but to signal readiness. Her names, Hecate, Enodia, Triodetis, Phosphorus, are spoken not for favor, but alignment. She does not offer power. She offers the opportunity to find it in the dark. Beyond Hecate's threshold lies something worse than any god or demon, a force that exists purely as the opposite of form. Its purpose is simple: to break the mind. That is Choronzon. His origins trace back to the 16th century in the magical operations of John Dee and Edward Kelly. They received warnings about a chaotic spirit named Choronzon, a destroyer of language, order, and self-awareness. His true prominence came with Aleister Crowley, who in 1909 summoned Choronzon in Algeria during the ritual known as Crossing the Abyss. Choronzon's role was to stop ego dissolution. He appeared to Crowley as many forms: an old man, a serpent, even Crowley himself, each reflection cracking the self-image. In Thelemic doctrine, his number is 333, half of 666, symbolizing him as a fragmented reflection of ultimate evil. He is the dweller in the abyss, and all must face him. Those who fail become black brothers, ego-bound shells, believing they've achieved mastery while enslaved by illusion. Confrontation with Choronzon is done through trance, isolation, dissociation, not for gain, but to annihilate the false self. Failure means collapse. Success means freedom. Crowley claimed victory. Others doubted, whispering that Choronzon had possessed him ever after. Azazel is next, not merely a fallen angel, but the bearer of forbidden knowledge. From the Book of Enoch, he is a watcher who descended to teach humanity warfare, metalwork, ornamentation, and sorcery. His gifts, iron, fire, adornment, were condemned as corruptions, but in truth they were empowerment. For this Azazel was bound and cast into the wilderness, his name tied to exile and the scapegoat ritual. In the left-hand path, he is revered as a liberator. His rituals involve fire, iron, and declarations of self-sovereignty. Working with Azazel means stepping into the forge, claiming power, not requesting it. He is the fire that tempers will, the alchemy of adversity. Kali follows, Hindu goddess of destruction, time, and liberation. She is not metaphor, she is raw force. In the Devi Mahatmya, she bursts forth in battle,
skin black as void, eyes blazing, tongue lolling, covered in blood, slaughtering demons and shattering illusions. For the adept, Kali is not comfort. She is confrontation. Her sword cuts ego. Her severed head symbolizes liberation. Her dance is the rhythm of birth, death, and rebirth. She is invoked in tantric rites, cemetery rituals, and meditations that embrace death as a doorway to awakening. She strips away all masks, leaving only truth. In the left-hand path, to face Kali is to stand naked before the storm, and to rise reborn. And this Baphomet, Hecate, Choronzon, Azazel, Kali is only the beginning. The left-hand path is vast. More entities wait, each with their own trials and truths, beyond dogma, beyond fear, beyond the veil.